Welcome everyone to the African Film Festival Symposium on African Cinema. We have some amazing guests with us here today at the Dallas Public Library, which I'd like to thank for having us. And before we even get started, I would like to thank Kelechi Ike, who is our chief cook and bottle washer. He has run this whole show perfectly. Let's give him a round of applause. He's done an impeccable job. And I would like to introduce each one of our guests, starting with, break down on the end there.
I am Randy Brewer. I'm one of the producers of Remand.
Okay.
That we shot over in Uganda.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Remy Mamadou, and I produced the movie Ziza, and it was shot in Maryland.
Hello everybody, I'm Kai Kunzis, I'm the director of Voice.
Hi, my name is Richard. I'm an actor in Bolivia.
I'm Wendy Stewart Kaplan, and my film is Fragile Beauty.
I'm Dr. Kula, I'm a producer from Atlanta, but I'm here representing Boxing Day, where I serve as production manager and location manager.
I'm Debbie Lang. I am the producer and director of Cornerstone, which was shot in Uganda.
And I'm the names of Tusime Henry from Uganda on Remand film.
And I'm Jim Gash, and I'm also in the Remand film with Henry shot in Uganda.
So the opening question I'd like to ask, which is really the theme of this festival, how do we bridge culture through film? Okay, who wants to take that one?
Bridging culture, I'll take it.
Okay.
So bridging cultures through film. Filmmaking is a way to get our voices heard, to get our stories told. So the way that I feel is the easiest way to bridge is to take the culture you're in now and mesh with any other culture that you're trying to get a message out to. So what we do with a lot of the Nollywood, Gollywood type films is we try to cast local cast along with cast from the continent, and then fuse the stories together and fuse the cast together and tell our stories that way. But it's very important because at that point you're able to reach both audiences. The audiences from the storyline you're coming from, which is an African tale, in addition to, you know, the Americans and the Europeans and all the other cultures.
Now, being that people are from different cultures, what kinds of problems can you encounter when you're doing that kind of thing?
Food on set is one of them. You know, how much of the Nigerian food we're going to have versus how much of the American food we're going to have, so, you know, things of that nature. And then sometimes our accents are a little bit different.
Right.
So when the director is giving instructions, we may have to listen a little harder to understand what's being
Right,
said.
because we might not understand what's
Right,
being
so
said.
those are some things you can encounter.
Okay, so Debbie, I'll talk to you next. What did you encounter in terms of that when you were doing Cornerstone?
With challenges?
Yeah.
Well, the primary crew was American college students, but we hired local people to assist us, and they were fantastic. So they pretty much eliminated us.
So this is very interesting. You had American college students, and then you had local people.
Local people that helped us, and we train them because we want to transfer skill, and so that when we leave, they want to do filmmaking, they can do filmmaking. So for their own country.
I think both of you have brought up a really good point. You know, this is really how film, in many ways, can bridge a gap because people are actually learning from each other. And we move down the line. Jim and Henry, hi, how are you today? How do you think this applied to your film? Because you're a documentary. Jim came as a lawyer to represent Henry, who is in Uganda and in jail in this particular documentary. How do you think this applied to your film?
Well, most of our film was shot in a maximum security prison in Uganda, and getting permission to bring cameras in there was a challenge.
I cannot even begin to, what was that like?
Well, it was about relationship building. I had been there for 4 years, going back and forth, working with prisons. And as a result of that, developed trust. And part of the challenge is if you're going to tell a story about a country trying to reform its judicial system, you have to ensure that they trust that you're going to be honest and honorable and encouraging and show them for the heroes that they are as opposed to looking like they're to be pitied or something like that.
Right.
So it's all about relationships. All of life is about relationships, and developing those in the developing world is quite an important task if you're going to try and tell their stories.
Now, Richard, you're sitting right next to me here. What kinds of things did you encounter in the challenges in your film made in Nigeria? It is a feature film. Okay, so you were using just regular actors, or you used people in the local village?
Our cast was multiracial, so.
Yes.
We had an American actor.
Yes, you did. Well, and what was his name again?
Moses.
Moses. Great name for an American actor on that film.
And we
Walked
had-
on water.
And we also had an American crew, sound guy, the director was also American. And at least we got them dancing to our music.
That couldn't have been so pretty, though. I don't know.
Well, you know, it was a learning experience for me because sometimes when you have a foreign crew, it gives a different perspective to, as an actor.
Right.
I'm used to directors from Nigeria asking me to do things in the show.
Okay.
And having to work for an American director is a bit different because we are, as a people, very animated
Yes.
and a lot more expressive.
Right. I suffer from the same problem. As an American, I'm very animated.
So I had to moderate some of the things ordinarily that I would have done differently.
They
So-
pull
so
back
yeah.
when they gave you the direction. Did they tell you to pull back?
Well, yes. So what I
Interesting.
did was to try and find like a middle ground, knowing also that the film is going to go out of the African territory. So
Right.
basically that was it for me, just finding that middle ground, and making everybody happy. Sound has been quite a challenge in most of our early films. The newer films are better, and so part of the reason for having a foreign crew is that there is a desire amongst a lot of African filmmakers to break the glass ceiling and be able to have an audience here in America or in Europe. And for that, you want to do a film that fulfills all righteousness.
Well, all righteousness and all desires. And you just brought up a really good point, because I think we're talking about here the breakthrough of African cinema meshing, with the rest of the world, a global cinematic experience. And do you think by having both kinds of crews there, it really helps it? You've got two different cultures. It's that bridge we're talking about.
It helps. I mean, at the end of the day, we all learn from each other, build friendships, across cultures. We understand each other more. Since after the film, I've met, some members of the crew. We've kept in touch.
You have kept in touch. It's great.
Which is good for the business because we are constantly networking. So, filmmaking is like Dr. Kula said, is a big opportunity to reach cultures.
To meet people from everywhere. You had something to say on that too. I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we haven't had a year fit. Just, remind me about your film again.
Thank you.
Yeah. Reverse, which we are going to be screening tonight, yes? Very excited.
Yeah, I think that filmmaking is very important to British cultures because, for example, in Reverse was one of those projects that 3 countries came together as countries.
Can tell us what countries they
It
were.
was a co-production between Cameroon, Ghana, and Nigeria.
Okay.
So it was a very interesting experience because the movie is, even the cast was very diverse. We had a cast from 7 different countries.
Wow.
So I think film is very, very crucial to British cultures because through film we can be able to experience people from different countries, their way of thinking, their way of doing things, and their mannerism and all of that. So it was quite interesting to me as a director to be able to work with people from all of these countries.
7 countries is a lot. I mean, you certainly had to have had challenges on that set. I guess food was one of them, right?
Well, I think that Africa, to me, Africa is one. Somebody from Nigeria, Ghana, the way they behave, the way they act, the kind of food they eat is similar.
It's similar.
It's similar, yeah. So it wasn't really a big challenge for me because
Nigeria still has the best jollof rice. Just saying.
That's true.
I'm
Okay,
very
what
glad-
do you think of that? He just gave you a challenge.
I'm-
That's been a challenge for years. That's a challenge for years.
I'm very glad to know this. I hope this Film making is a very, very important instrument. It's a great tool, and I'm very happy that I'm a filmmaker. Yes, it gives me the opportunity to experience different things, different cultures.
Great, thank you.
Okay, right over, yeah, here. What do you feel about it?
I feel, equally the same. And just to piggyback on what they
Yes.
talked about, just bringing different cultures. My film, for example, also had about 7 to 8 different countries
As well.
represented in the movie. So, and similarly, you have people with different values, different views on issues. But being able to understand that and put it together in a new film, it's important. And at the end of the day, the finished product looks really good. So that's all that counts. And for me, I think that's where we're going. That's where African films. That's what the future holds. Just being able to work together and just bringing everything together.
And it really is about that finished product. You brought up a good point, Richard, about working with an American director, because you realize in the bigger scope of things, that film is going to be accepted everywhere. And I think that is a big thing in having the growth of the film industry.
Yeah, down on the end there.
Hey, I'm Randy. Yeah, so
Please jump in.
if we're talking about Remand, if you guys come tonight,
Yeah,
I
we'll be
think
there.
one of the first things that you'll notice is it is a film about bringing people together. It's a film about doing things not like I know better, I'm smarter than you. It is, how can we do this together? How can we love each other? I mean, and as a filmmaker, the cool thing is we all breathe the same air.
That's a
We all
really
bleed
good
the
point,
same
right?
way. And everybody has to work together. If you don't have a crew that loves each other and cares about each other and looks out for each other, which is why I do not hire any diva directors.
Yes.
It starts at the top. If you're not taking care of your production assistants and you're not respected from the top down, then how can you bridge culture? How can you change anything? And so that's what I think is interesting about filmmaking, is that it is very much a team. And you don't go around and be like, oh, you're a great director of photography, but you're from Kenya.
Right.
No, like half the time, all the good directors of photography are from somewhere overseas.
Exactly.
And the more you can't pronounce the name, the better they are.
And everybody knows I'm guilty of that.
So anyway, that's what I think about it.
Yeah. So it's interesting in that we're all here talking really about independent filmmaking, right? As opposed to these big budget, colossal Hollywood things. What I'm getting from everybody on the panel here, there's definitely a level playing field, the spirit of camaraderie, and none of the diva stuff that goes on. Would you all agree that, yeah. We really are sitting listening to this, we really are a United Nations. Which brings me to the next thing, independent filmmaking. What are the challenges involved with the budgeting and raising money? Because this was my first short, and it gets terribly expensive. How do you fund this stuff? If you were going to give advice to anybody out there that's thinking of going into this area, what would you tell them? We can start over here first.
Well, what we did is found some people who believe in the end goal of what we're trying to do, and sharing with them a vision for what the end product would be and what story it would tell, and how it will reflect, in our view, God's creation and the spirit of working together across the continents. And we found some people who had money and a vision. And
I guess that's what it takes, money and a vision. Yeah, Debbie, yeah.
Similar to what you said, I kind of stumbled into what I'm doing because I was a journalist for a long time. And my first humanitarian film I did, people were moved and inspired by it. They said, I want to fund your next film. So I basically put my blood and sweat in my first one, and the people just came.
Right.
So I did for free. The crew volunteered. Those kids spend a year raising money on their own. Come to Africa.
Unbelievable, right.
And even when I went to the villages there, we had, as you said, you had to earn the trust. We spent a lot of time learning the culture and the language and earning their trust. They wanted to volunteer to help us, but of course we couldn't do that. No, we can't do this. It's just saying, if people believe in you, the money will come.
Yep.
And it did. And but we put up our own seed money first, just to get us started.
Of course, right.
And because once they see you have skin in the game.
Yeah, well, you put your money where your mouth is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
they
think
see,
that's
oh,
important.
you did this other one.
Yeah.
They're willing to.
I just had that conversation on my way here. Somebody called me to produce their film, and I said, no, you need some seed money. Because anything that you're gonna do, like for my film, I do big, kind of semi-big budget projects when it's my own movie.
So you need
And
more
so-
seed money.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Big seed.
So normally I put up half of it, and then I get friends or other people that want to participate. But the key thing for anybody who's just starting out, you really do need to have some sort of a plan, if you will, which I do have those. If you want to have examples of how to do one, I have professional plans that I've created myself that I send out to people when I want to solicit funds.
Right.
And of course, I let them know I'm going to put up half or whatever it is, and then I need this amount to come from other people. But they need to see what you've done. And so, luckily,
Right,
for me, I've done quite a few.
It's
And
your
so-
pedigree. You have to
Exactly.
show your pedigree.
Exactly. So I send that out with all the stuff that I've done, and this is what I want to do now. This is what the story's about, yada, yada, yada. This is the budget, all of that good stuff. So it is a marketing plan, if you will.
You have to have your marketing plan
You have
together,
to
yeah.
get anybody to
Yeah.
invest in what you're doing. And then the story has to be really good. Because some people come to me and they want me to help produce theirs, but if the story is not great, we're not going to be able to raise funds.
Exactly right.
And it's a waste of time.
But what's interesting to me about that, okay, you work off of a script or you work off of a proposal or an idea. How do you know from a piece of paper that the story is going to be good?
That comes with time. I think you just know.
You're laughing. Wait, Richard's laughing. Have you encountered bad stories?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Oh, as an actor,
As an actor, let's talk about the bad stories.
it probably won't be fair to say, to talk about bad stories, but it is key that from paper,
Yes.
you can see,
You can see from
you
paper.
can see the potential. Having said that, there are some directors that have artistic liberties, especially if they are writers, to keep, working the script,
Yes.
rewriting, even in production.
Right.
Well, they should be able to do that.
I confess here and now that, for instance, my last movie, The Wedding Party, which went on to become the highest grossing movie in Africa today, I rejected the
It's on
script.
Netflix, you know?
Wait,
I know
it was on Netflix, you raised.
I rejected the script.
But why did you reject the script? What about
I
this?
didn't like what it was on paper. And the producer kept saying to me, Aaron, you must do this story. And I kept saying, I really don't want to do this story. And she said to me, look, I know the writer, put in your moments, write anything you want to write, let's just do, I need you in this story. I kept saying no. Finally, I just talked to the money that I ordinarily have to charge, just put something more into it. I said, then if you pay me this, I'll do it. He said, yeah, okay, I'll pay you.
You can't say no.
And the film went on to become, again, because the director and writers, everybody kept innovating and working as we went on. But otherwise, it's, like you say, sometimes it's like gut feeling.
Yeah.
Some people say inspiration. If I read a script, I know from the go if I would like it.
Right.
Because I start working my character immediately. But if that doesn't hit me, then I always feel like
Can I interject? I have to say about R&D. I sent him a script one time, and he liked the script. He said, "Oh, I'll do this, but you have to change that." And I like that coming from an actor because you want to act
Right.
comfortable too in what he's doing. But R&D will tell you straight up, "No, I'll only do it if you do this, 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 this." But it's good to get that feedback
God,
from
you're
somebody.
controlling, aren't you?
He's good at what he does, though.
I have to say, he is really good at what he does. Your character, Gunpowder, and Olivieri, did I say it correctly? I work really hard to say things correctly. Olivieri? Olivieri, yeah. He was very menacing, very violent, and really left an impression on me. To prep for a character like that, what did you have to do? Is there an aspect of yourself, your personality that's that?
Well,
She's laughing.
Olympic for me was a turning point in my career because
Ah.
I had to drop weight for it. I was 120 kilos weight before.
What is that in pounds?
I don't know what it is.
People out there that live in United States.
I don't know what that is in pounds.
Do you know what it is in pounds?
Do something.
Choose something. Okay, so you were over.
And I dropped to like 95, 98 kilos.
Wow, you were lean and mean in that
I
film.
had to, I was too fat.
You can't have a fat villain, can you? So tell me, you make films in Cameroon mostly,
He hasn't invited me yet.
And why haven't you invited him to make Christmas Nigeria?
I work for this guy in my husband. I work for him. Anyway, yeah, he's Aaron is a legend. That's the way I see him. And he has been one of those people that inspired a lot of us.
inspired.
Yes, a lot of us. As a young actor, young filmmaker, I've always looked up to him.
Right.
And meeting him for the first time has been a great pleasure for me. It gave me goosebumps.
Oh, wow, this is just like, it's all coming out here today.
Yeah, so he's one of the people that I really respect a lot in the industry. Now, talking about African cinema, African films, I think the biggest challenge that we face is market. The market.
Is marketing or market?
The market.
The market.
Yeah, because if you look at Africa today, let me look at Nigeria or Ghana, for example. You know, Nigeria is too populated for the number of cinemas they have. They need more cinemas. We need more cinemas to
Distribution.
Distribution, basically. So we need that, and we need the government, the African governments, to support us, the filmmakers. You know, we need more cinemas. We need more avenues that we can project our films, because if you look at Africa today, Africa is if not the more, I think it's the most populated continent.
Yeah, it is the most populated continent.
Yeah, so we have the audience, we have the people that can consume our products. But I think what we actually lack is that avenue, that platform, and cinema is the most important instrument that we need to protect these films. So I think distribution is our biggest challenge, and financing as well.
Right.
You know, because we don't have, it's not set up like here in the United States where you can go present something and get a huge loan and do a project. So you have to go through some little bombs before you can get
Well,
finances.
for these smaller independent films, it's really, you're jumping through the same hoops here, and just in terms of government supporting cinema, you know, big blockbuster things where everybody's in bed together, yeah, absolutely, but, you know, these independent films, my God, we're all scraping and crawling to get that money together, so I say we can definitely connect on that level. You brought up something that was interesting, though, to me. You said more movie houses. What's the situation in just all these different countries in terms of having movie houses?
Let me talk about Cameroon.
Yeah.
In Cameroon, we have 2 cinemas.
In the whole country?
Yes. In the population of 23 million.
2.
So it's quite sickening, because the people are hungry to watch the films. They are hungry for the products. They want to watch our films. They want to experience our cultures, because filmmaking, like we said, is the most important instrument to tell our stories and tell our cultures. But they don't have that avenue. You know, so that's one of the things that's going in Cameroon right now. And when I just came back from Accra 2 weeks ago.
From Ghana, yeah,
From
from Ghana, yeah.
And it's a similar situation.
Yes.
You know?
In Ghana? Yeah, wow.
I think in Accra, there were 2
silverbirds, that's it.
silverbirds.
Okay, I think just put it in perspective, just so you understand, how many screens, for instance, do we have in Dallas? Obi, is there like a statistic that we can?
Yeah, do you know the answer to that?
Huh?
How many screens?
In terms of numbers,
In just Dallas itself,
in
right?
Dallas.
In
itself.
just Dallas?
If when you say 10 or 15, you are talking about cinemas, and probably you times that with maybe like 5-10 screens per cinema.
Right.
In Nigeria, in fact, if we say outside of probably, which I don't have the statistics for that, outside of South Africa and probably Egypt, I think the rest of Africa will not have as many screens as Dallas.
No, definitely.
Combined.
Yeah. In New York, which is where I'm from, there's theaters. This is a hard concept for me to understand, and I think, Richard, you mentioned this the other night. that there's not cinemas to show this stuff in, because in New York, I'm not kidding you, it's every block, and then there's the whole Times Square area where there's more cinemas, and you go into a cinema in a shopping mall in the middle of nowhere, and they've got 6 screens. What do you think it's gonna take to get that in Africa?
I can speak for Nigeria.
Yeah.
We
Nigeria
have the most, and government has some kind of intervention funds, and distribution now is like the major point that they're concentrating. There are all kinds of funds. Just a week ago, the government released a lot more money to support film.
They did. That's really great.
Some people came to Dallas here for some kind of training, capacity building.
That's
We have all
great.
kinds of funding now for capacity building, increasing the number of screens, because the Chinese are interested in the films, the French are interested. In China alone, I know that over the last 2 or so years, they built over 4,000 something cinemas, in addition to whatever they have. So just to get that statistic all over again, there are more screens in New York than the entire Africa.
I totally believe that.
And we're dealing with, in Nigeria alone, we're dealing with 170 or more, almost 200 million people. And so if you would say it is 10% of that go to cinemas, we don't have, we have less than 2% number of screens for that number of people. So government realizes that now, because there was a rebasing of the economy, and we found out that entertainment and cinema contributes almost 3-4% to our GDP.
Well, I'm very impressed that your government has come on board,
Yes,
because
what we're asking them now is not to intervene, but
Right.
to have that.
we want your money.
Yes.
We want your money.
As a deliberate policy,
Yes.
not something it doesn't have to depend on which government is in power.
Right.
It doesn't have to be.
Because we know governments can go flip-flop. I lived in Nigeria, trust me, they overthrew the government while I was there. You know how it can be. So when you do a documentary versus a feature, what do you think in terms of how it's received? Are bigger audiences going to go to features or documentaries? What I've loved about this film festival, we've had really great features, and we've had documentaries both small and larger. What do you think in terms of getting audience really turns people on? Let's start down here.
Yeah, I would say in the United States, this is just one guy's opinion, people
Yeah.
watch in the theaters, features a whole lot more than documentaries. Documentaries is online or on cable.
But how effective though is cable really? Because people can sit in their home, they don't have to go out to see a feature, they can sit in their home and watch it. I would think that would bring in a huge audience. And we have channels like Sundance and all of those. Have either of you had been approached by Sundance or?
Not Sundance, but National Geographic bought the rights in certain parts.
Nat Geo, yeah.
Is buying the rights in certain
Right.
areas, and PBS bought the rights in other areas, and so.
So we do have vehicles at least for our
But
documentary
those are
films.
going to be television as opposed to theater.
Right, but the masses like to sit home on their couches, eating their French fries and watching and watching Netflix. What about you, Deborah? Have you taken your film to any of those channels at this point?
No, the point of what I was doing
Yeah.
is different from what everybody else is
No,
doing.
I know, and I'd like you to talk about that, which is why I threw that ball into your court.
The reason I did it, and it kind of snowballed into this, is I did it because I found a great story, and I did it for the organization, and it kind of just exploded.
Right.
And it's been shown around the world, and so that's how I ended up at this festival.
Right,
And,
which is great.
people are interested in it. And the thing that is important to me is that presenting positive stories about Africa, and specifically Uganda, and my message is, people from America shouldn't do these stories. People in Uganda should be doing them.
Agreed.
And I got upset with the press there, because we had the screening, and it was trending #2 in Uganda, and this premiere, and the press was there, and I said, he's been here for 15 years, they've been there, where have you been? And they just, I You guys are letting these good stories about Uganda be wasted, and instead you're going and covering blood. So
Right.
get off your butts.
Good for you.
Don't let me, people that look like me, do these stories because don't let people shape your stories. Get these stories out. So that's my.
Right. Can I hear an amen on that? I totally, we went to the southern Ethiopia, to the Omo Valley to make our film, and what really blew me away was people loved that we were doing it, but nobody else was doing it. Why am I there? We finance our own films, and like you, I hear of an interesting story. I was interested in telling the story of these 3 tribes in the Omo Valley that are being threatened. People don't know that as Africa develops, indigenous people are losing their ancestral lands, they're losing places to grow their food, they're losing their rivers, and they put in this giant Giba Dam, the Italians and the Chinese. Again, we have all this foreign power in Africa, right? What are they doing there in the first place? And obviously they've cut deals with the governments. Okay, that's something that we all go up against. And here we have these people that are being moved further and further away from the water. When we have this plan to shoot down there, particularly the Mercy people, which they have the clay plates in their lips. They've taken a particularly bad rap because the area that they were living in is very desirable for the government in Ethiopia to develop. And nobody was down there telling their story. And I don't know, I'm sure you experienced this. There's something in you that wants to give them a voice, get the message out there. And the most gratifying thing in the film that we made, Fragile Beauty, was when I did the Q&As and no one was aware that this was going on, nobody. And I've done a lot of screenings, and I guess through film, like your story, through your documentary, or Jim, your story about Henry, through film, we can get the news out there. We can say to people, this is what's really going on. We're all bombarded day and night now because of social media and the internet, or how our news is given to us. But as filmmakers, we definitely have a power to create our own news. And I agree with Debbie. Let's make our stories good. Let's get the information out there, make it good, make films that people want to see that are not only entertaining, but educational and informative.
Can I say something?
Yes, absolutely.
This film showed in several places in Uganda and Rwanda so far in Africa. The thing that when I showed up in Gulu, for instance, I was bombarded by the children and the people. As soon as they found out, you're the one.
You're the one, right?
Let me tell you, this is the first film, the children are telling me this, first time I've ever seen a film or read a story where we are in the film and we are portrayed in a good light.
Wow.
And I heard that in Kampala, I heard that
Everywhere.
everywhere.
In a good light, right?
Everywhere. And on Facebook, they'll send me messages. Where are more films? Are there any more films like this? Please let us know.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry my film's not sexy and full of blood and guts. But it shows good stories that give hope where there is none.
Right.
So,
We're all about
do them.
I'd love to say something
Yes,
about everything
I
y'all are
will.
talking
Jump
about.
right in.
I'm loving everything y'all are saying. So my company is called Revolution Pictures. We're about 20 years old. And I believe documentaries are the way to really engage culture. The exciting thing that I would say about it, especially reaching the world in Africa, is Netflix now has more subscribers than cable. And that's growing like crazy. Amazon is growing. So the way to get opportunities for more films in Africa, one of the things we found is with Remand, it was the little film that could, like all of ours probably, but a true story, amazing people, and we just started doing it year one. Then went and edited some of it, went and raised more money, went back again, and then when we finished it, we were like, who could we get, to help us narrate this and tell the story bigger? And when Angela saw it, within a week of seeing the film, she was like, I have to do this. And so I think documentaries is definitely the way. One of the other things I'll mention is in Liberia, I have a good friend, his name's Todd Phillips, actually lives here in Dallas. You can go to it's called I'll think of it in a second. Anyway, he decided, he saw the problem in Liberia of no water wells. And he went to Liberia, and it was a mess. I mean, just disastrous country. But instead of just leaving or throwing money at them, he went back and he told people, this is a huge problem. We need to build water wells. But while we do it, let's make a documentary on how that will change the country. And so they filmed a documentary while they put water wells in, and you could see, this is this village that these folks have, I mean, they're just dying because they're drinking dirty water. And then you see this village that has clean water, and the entire change of the village. He came back over here to Dallas, he screened it and showed it to wealthy people, and those wealthy people gave him more money to build more wells. So that's good, doing good for other people, and using film to engage the culture and to, affect change is an amazing thing. I have a project I developed with A&E that came out of some of my own story of forgiving others. And I'm working right now to do that where basically if people can actually see people face to face, like work out their differences, not for, bravo drama, not to tear people down, not to use people, however, to, hey, I am sorry I did this, would you forgive me? And people actually doing that is the way, if you can use film to show people what can change, use it as a vehicle, it is so powerful. Too many people, and I'm not saying there's cool movies that are interesting to watch and sometimes entertaining that are not exactly the most positive thing in the world. However, we got plenty of those. We got lots of those. And so to me, documentaries, there's a film we did for ESPN 30 for 30. It's called Delaney. You should Google it. But it is another one of these stories that when I heard about it, I was just like, we have to tell this story. And for me, I'm about our revolution. What we want to do is we want to tell stories for those that don't have a voice.
That's exactly right.
Or don't have the financial ability. Or I meet people that are, in the middle of urban culture, and they are bringing people together and doing amazing things and loving people in the midst of entire violence and hatred, and no one's telling their story. And they don't have a way to raise money. And if you can go in there and show this amazing Good Samaritan and show the good they're doing, and then bring it to others. Because there are people that want to help, they just don't know.
They just have no idea.
They just don't know. So I would say the other thing is when we were talking about raising money, I really believe that is a powerful way is if you can just get a glimpse of what you're going to do and then show that, even if it's an interview, even if it's just, here's the story, I want to take it and show it to some people to try to get them around it. I mean, you can buy websites now for nothing. $15 WordPress. And then I would suggest find the people that are good at what they do. So you may not do a website, you may be a horrible graphic designer, own it, okay? Don't try to do it. And then go and find partners that will help you that are excellent at that and say, hey, can you just put, can you do the logo for this, and can you put a little site up and tell the story of what we want to do, and then boom, now you can email that to tons of people with your little interview and say, I need money, I need help. So that's what I love about everything we're talking about is affecting change and affecting culture together and using film to do that. Now, we're going to keep talking on this end.
We're going to pass it on down the line.
Thank you. If I may just go back to your previous question.
Yes, of course.
That we talked about being an independent filmmaker and what the struggles are. And I will say we have quite a few. I will say distribution is one for sure, marketing is one. Piracy is a big
Piracy is
one. And I
huge.
think that is really what is affecting a lot of African movies. And I hope, in the near future that we would do something to, help that issue. So now when we talk about feature film as opposed to documentary, I know I did a feature film. I am interested in documentaries as well. And just listening to the panel, I hear a lot of great ideas in ways that we can do that. So it's something that I'm interested in. I think we don't have enough of that. A lot of the time, I think we could focus on feature films. But I think there's a lot that can be told also from documentaries, and I'm interested in that as well.
Do you think the reason you don't have a lot of that it would be more feature or oriented in your country is because that's more entertaining for people?
I would say so. Entertainment is what people, want many of the times. But I think when you do a documentary, many of the times you're telling people what they don't know. You bring attention to things that people are not familiar with. So I think it's a good way to go. First, you want to know for sure what are you doing, what are you interested in, and then what are the people interested in as well. What will sell to them? So it's very important when you do that. If you want to go for documentary, you want to make sure the documentary makes sense. I think that's.
And you kind of have to target your
You
audience.
target your audience.
Saying,
What are you trying to sell to them? What are you marketing to them? So it has to make sense to them for sure.
So my last question, because I'm going to wrap it up, what does everybody think about film festivals? Why do we think film festivals are so important? I'll start down there.
I'll confess, this is my first film festival.
We have a film festival virgin here.
Yeah,
There's
it won't be my last. I would just love going from theater to theater to theater to seeing what someone's showing next and to see how people tell stories, because I'm a storyteller in a very different way, not in film but in law, and it's great to see it on film. And I applaud all of you filmmakers, because some of these things I look at and say, there's no possible way I would even know where to start and know how to do this. I'm glad there's people with those gifts, and so thank you for that.
Thank you.
For me, I think they're important because it exposes the film to a diverse audience, and also offers critiques of the film. And see if you're going on the right, the right path. And you can learn a lot from a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different filmmakers. I am one of those people. My friends in the industry call me the salmon that goes up the opposite way. I blow up the place in filmmaking. My fellow filmmakers say, you do the exact opposite. I'm the George Costanza of filmmaking. I do the exact opposite. But they like what I end up with. And they said, I never thought I'd try it that way. I think I'll try it that way next time. So I've learned a lot. And I'm actually very honored to be part of this group of filmmakers. I'm looking at the films and I think they're fantastic.
We really did have a great group, very diverse kinds of films. I've done a lot of festivals, and I have to say that we really run the gamut at this festival. This is, to me, is a very important festival. How do you think festival? Yes, Henry, please jump in. Yeah, you just just jump right in.
Yeah, I really felt like I should say something about this African Film Festival. Because I feel like our problems in the developing world, which we are challenging, which we are facing as a challenge, is being addressed worldwide.
Okay.
So I feel like, yeah, we are there in the developing world, but also the developed world already is thinking about us. I really feel appreciative, and I just enjoy it.
Well, we certainly appreciate you being here and that your film is here, and anyone who's coming to the screening tonight, when you hear Henry's story, will be blown away. I know for me personally, I read about these kinds of things in the New York Times, but you never have the face of the person that it's happening to. So it's really been a great honor to have you here with us today.
Get an autograph while you can, because the guy's famous. He's famous in Africa.
For film festivals, I think film festivals are important, not just to showcase the films. A lot of times, depending upon the film festival you're attending, sometimes you can get distribution. A lot of people don't realize that too.
Yeah, you can.
A lot of big ones will help you get distribution. And again, somebody may see your film, whether it's a documentary or a feature, and offer you some type of distribution. And something that you had said, I didn't catch your name down there at the end. What's his name?
Randy Brewer.
All right, sir.
It's Randy. Randy down at the end.
Okay, so I too just came back from Liberia and did because of the Civil War, people don't know why the Civil War. And so our film addressed why that happened was because, people want to pretend like racism only exists in America. Racism is everywhere. Whether it's racism, classism, it doesn't matter. Any of those isms you'll find in India, you'll find everywhere. So our film addressed the ism in Liberia, which is what caused the Civil War. So we want people to come together and bring that peace. And in our film, Vivica Fox was like the grandmother, so she was there reading the story, and in the end, she apologizes for the atrocities that took place in Liberia. So we need films like that where people feel validated. You have the Jewish people in America, they feel validated because they were apologized to. And so doing a film that addresses those kinds of issues is always important.
Right,
so.
yeah, and empowering them, really. Yes.
Well, I guess the importance of film festivals is the reason why we're seated here. Different people, different cultures, different professions, and we finding a common ground to sit down and talk. And just to add to the documentary thing, Africa is replete with stories like Henry. And you just pray that you are lucky enough for somebody who is consistent, who is persistent, to find your story and tell it. It's all over the world. I mean, people are suffering from all kinds of injustices. And it helps documentaries when they are narrated by famous people.
Yeah, that's absolutely
Who
big.
ordinarily you will find in feature films. I'm involved in 1 or 2 documentaries now in Nigeria where I offered to do the narration, volunteer to do the narration, so that I get some kind of traction for it. But I'm happy to be here. I love film festivals. They present new opportunities to these filmmakers from all over the world. I've learned from their perspective.
Well, what else did I say? The reason why festivals are good, this is the reason. Right here.
I think that's so great. We're sitting
I'm sitting next to the legendary R&B, so it's the perfect avenue. A lot of filmmakers are coming up, amazing filmmakers like myself. New films are made every day, and I don't think we have enough avenues to showcase those films. And it's thanks to festivals like this, the African Film Festival. I think we should do a round of applause for Mr. Kelechi.
Absolutely.
It's a tough job. I've been here for 11 days. I came earlier because we had a short film that the festival did. And I've watched him all this while, how hardworking this guy is. The time he's putting, the energy, the sacrifice, 2 hours, 1 hour. And I watch him, I'm like, I don't know if this guy's a machine. Sometimes I beg him to go and sleep. So it's a tough job, and it's because of people like him. And we're praying that other people should come up, because we need more festivals, we need more avenues to showcase our films, and this is the perfect avenue to do that. Thank you.
All right, just exactly what everyone has said. I would say that the Film Festival for sure is a place to showcase our talents. It's a place to network, it's a place to meet people, and TAFF has exactly done that for me and the rest of you, and I'm sure you guys will agree. So we definitely need more film festivals to showcase what we got, because I'm sure we have a lot to offer. And I know that the future has a lot of stuff for us. So definitely, I'm all about film festival. I've been to quite a few film festivals, and this is one of those amazing ones as well. So I like it, yes.
Well, I'll wrap it up. The website for water wells in Liberia is thelastwell.org. You can go there and watch film a little bit about that. I just want to thank everybody. I think it's awesome. I love what Henry said, is the more we can create and tell stories about Africa and its problems, or things that can be changed for people that are doing good, and you can affect a lot of change that way, and Africa needs more of that, and every country does. So that's what we love about filmmaking. So thank you for everybody on this panel.
Thank you. I would like to thank everybody that came to support us here today. They came to support this amazing festival. Please tell your friends about it for next year. You know, this is a young festival, it's growing, it's a very, very important festival. I think there's nothing like it, you know, and I completely believe in what Kaleche is doing, so we've got your back. And I'd like to take some questions from the audience, thank you.
Quick question.
Yes.
When we talk about African film,
Yes.
we're talking like Africa is like only one language. What do you guys think about it? Because we're doing most of the films are only in English. When you go to African Union, you have French, Arabic, Spanish,
That's a
Portuguese.
very good point.
How do we bridge that? You go to festival, it's always English, and there's an absence of French or Portuguese. Well, there's a story there. How do you look into that?
Well, some festivals actually have the subtitles on screen. Some of the films are in those local languages or dialects, and then in English you put it on the screen. So not all subtitles have them in English. It's just some.
There were some films in this festival that
Yeah, we had one yesterday about the Versailles, and that was subtitles. The thing was, I wanted more subtitles in that film. Did you watch that film?
No, but I saw another one with subtitles.
Right, but they needed to have in that film because the visuals were so incredible. I wanted more subtitles in it to explain what was happening. But that is a really good point. I don't know, how do you get around
Well,
that?
there are 40 languages in Uganda alone.
Right.
And so which
That's
one of those?
Pick a language, any
You speak
language.
7 of them, but I
So now,
In Cameroon, we have 246 languages. 246.
And in Nigeria, we have about 500. So I think that's actually, I think that's being reached.
keep it simple.
There goes that theory.
I think that keep it simple. You want to do something that everybody can relate with.
Right.
I think people are already doing movies in their native languages and also subtitling those movies. I think it's being done already. And I think, it's going to continue to be done. So, so that's that.
Yeah, I think there was even one great film that we watched, I think called Me Thief. Yeah, it's a South African film, and the language was
Afrikaans.
So and the subtitles were in English, so it was a beautiful film.
We love subtitles.
Film is a universal language. That's why it's a film. It's audio, it's visual. I grew up on a steady diet of Indian films that didn't have subtitles. Sang the song.
And then you go along.
Sometimes language is a barrier.
But when you look at it, language, because everybody here sitting is Anglo, that's what I'm talking about, participation. Subtitles we understand, but the participation, the cross-culture which we're having here. Like when you go to the AU, you have all these languages and there's interpreters and all. That's what I'm talking about. How to mix with them, with the directors from other languages to bridge together and make real African.
But I will say that right now we are already doing that, because in my film, for example, we have different people from different countries represented in that movie. And so the director came all the way from Nigeria, you have people from Ghana, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, we have people from here. So we're already working together. And his film, the same thing, we're working together and bridging those gaps. And I see African films doing that more, because now we have talents from all over Africa. I mean, we are the most talented people out there, and we need people to know that. And so I see what we're doing now. The future is on, like one of my president would say, that we're coming together and showing the world what we are made of, what we have. And we're working together regardless of what country you're from. It doesn't matter. Africa is one continent, and we will not be separated. We will work together in unison.
No, so that we don't miss what he's asking. I have been to festivals where there are more French people than Anglophone. This is just a one-off.
Right.
I mean, if you go to First Marco, you'll feel like a fish out of the water. So we find a middle ground. We find some form of interpretation. This is just a one-off. I'm sure. Well, he's from Cameroon. Are you from the southern part or from?
From the English part.
You're from the English part?
Yes. And if I may just add something real quick, I think the African Film Festival have started working towards that already, because this is the first festival that has ever produced a movie. Filmmakers from all over the world, all over Africa coming together to produce the film. that will be projected today. So I think that's a step towards bridging things like that.
Questions? So let me hear some more questions.
First of all, I want to thank all of you for being here. I thank Mr. Kelechi for TAFF. I was surprised last year when he told me it was an iPhone TAFF. I assumed there was such a forum already. I've been in this country for about 30 years. I was shocked to know that Kelechi started the African Film Festival last year.
Isn't it amazing?
Amazing. And I happen to be his older brother. So I want to thank all of you. Not just is the festival good, bringing people like you here to showcase what you've done, learning from experience. Films like Henry, I met a young man from Ethiopia. He's supposed to be up there.
Yeah.
His story is wonderful. He's in Canada now. These are inspiring stories that we hope to learn about positive things about Africa. Don't wait on the positive too. The negative things sometimes help to turn us around.
That's right.
Okay, so don't dwell on the positive.
Right.
The bad things that are happening in that country, shed light on it,
Yes.
and that makes the government or people change their way.
Yeah.
That's a very good point,
So please
right?
don't forget that. Also, this is an opportunity to meet great people. I've been seeing R&D on movies. He doesn't know that. Sitting next to him. So there's mentorship going on.
Right.
And hopefully sustainability in the future.
That's right.
And all languages, that's a very important question you ask. It is the beginning now. This is just the second year. In the future, there should be some different filmmakers here, hopefully to help us bridge that gap. When we were growing up, we used to watch Indian movies, no subtitles, but we still enjoy the language. Any good music, even African music, Americans love it, and vice versa. So I applaud what you're doing. Now, some thoughts for you to think about
Yes.
when you go is, I'm glad Nigerian government maybe has some funds to help the entertainment industry. However, you know how government works. Everything government gets into is not so efficient, even here in this country. So I maybe suggest you to tap into individuals. We have several billionaires in Nigeria, for example. Is there a way we can reach them, that audience, and tell them the value of these stories that you're telling, which will make legacy for them, and they can actually invest in this industry and make it more sustainable. So thank you all. And I look
Thank
forward
you.
to it.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, everybody. I need to set up like the Rhino television in Houston. Following what you just said, I had the privilege to work with a nonprofit organization. I know there's many of them out there who would be willing to support the industry if they can tell that these stories are genuine and they're going to be put out there. So I think that there needs to be a bridge. You know, do all you can to get in touch with those specific nonprofits. UNICEF, for example, would be willing to sponsor any movie or documentary or feature film that would put out, you know, for the world to see the issues that they are busy tackling on a daily basis. Because you guys will be able to just project, you know, you have the platform. So if you can collaborate with nonprofits like UNICEF, you know, like Bill Gates Foundation, those are the people who really will support what you're doing. But they just probably haven't seen, you know.
Right, they don't know it's there.
Right, so, you know, call them.
There are loads of projects going on that UNICEF have been funding for over 40 years.
Yeah.
In films and all. But thank you for
Thank you.
the state we stay to.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, as a program director of this festival, I've kind of seen a few challenges already with holding a festival like this one. One of it is getting the audience interested. So, in your opinion, what do you think will be the best way to reach out to the various audiences? And if we're talking about bridging cultures, how do we, this is one of the effective ways that we can bridge cultures, if we can get these audiences involved. You know, when we put out these information out there for people to know that we're having a film festival like this, and this is what we're trying to do, and this is what we're trying to do, how do we encourage them to come out? How do we encourage them to come and support their filmmakers, and, you know, enjoy this festival like you guys have, like everyone here?
I can't answer for Dallas, but we've been helping to run the Black Bear Film Festival. It's out in New York. We have huge audiences, okay? I'll tell you what we've done. We have 10 years in, so you need time in, right? The second thing is your community here. You have a large African community, so you have to find out, you know, what publications they read, what radio stations, if there's any areas where they're having any kind of festivals or anything. I've done table work myself. You stand there for, you know, right, you know what I'm saying, like a month before the festival handing stuff out. You know, radio is a great way to reach people. You definitely need someone that can get, like, you guys are on Facebook and you're on Instagram and Twitter, but you need someone, and I don't quite understand how that works, but I have someone that does that for me that can reach people, a massive amount of people that way. Facebook has a whole events section. I would imagine on Facebook there's a Dallas events section. Really great way to put an event like that on here. You need a person that can, my God, and that is, and anyone here will attest to that, even in terms of our films, that is a full-time job. It really is. But you'll be able to find the people to do that, but those are all the levels that you have to hit.
And another thing
Yeah.
you could do, which I know the festival's young, so you're not there yet, you'd be able to have an opportunity to talk with a theater, like an actual movie theater that can allow you to showcase the films out of there. A lot of times, the people that come to viewings of different movies, they're just movie buffs, like myself. I attend a lot of festivals based on flyers that were passed out while I was at a movie or something like that. So if you get to that place where you have, you know, the audience, you can pass out those flyers at the movie theater. You'd be very surprised the number of people from different cultures that will show up.
Alan, you have a question?
We would just add what I consider a great film festival.
This is an amazing film festival.
And we have a collection of experts, people who have participated in it, had their work shown. Two questions. What do you think of it? What was your experience? And then, what would you like to see? What would you like to see that you think
That's
can
it.
help grow this festival?
Yeah, and that kind of chimes in with what you were saying. Okay, let's take it from down here. How do you think we can grow this festival?
I'll defer to others since I'm a film festival workshop.
Okay. You're local, then. How do you think we can grow this festival? What do you think is needed?
I'm gonna mirror what she said, exactly what she said. Because, I know just for my own screenings, going to the communities that are predominantly African-American, but I know at my screenings and all the other screenings I went to, I didn't see that many Africans.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
You
Not coming out.
Right, you have to get them out. You got to tear them out of their houses. Yes.
Okay, see, I think I have a solution.
Yes, we'd love that.
Okay, and this is from experience, from what I do. Typically, Africans are not going to be willing to come out and support you until they see that you're successful with what you've done. So what you do is, you have your event, you make it successful with the people you've got, and then you put it out there. You splash all the media platforms with what you did. People will be like, okay, we missed this. Next year, they're going to be marking your calendars before it even comes up. So that's what you do. And also make use of all the media platforms. You can't just stick with social media. You have to do radio, you have to do TV. And since you're starting out newly, you may not have the budget to put out there because some media channels will only showcase you if you put advertising, and advertising costs money. So what you can do is, pick and choose who are going to be your media partners and have something that you can leverage, something that they will find useful that you can give them. And there's a lot in the media industry. So with time, like you say, it will explode. But in the beginning, you just have to be creative.
You have to do everything.
You have to do everything, so that you can increase your reach.
I think also to get our people involved, because if we look at this festival, for example, we have people from different countries here. So going back after today, I will also, think that if we get these other people involved, they can take it also to their community. It's easier for me to reach out to the people in the Nigerian community, and he can also reach out to the people in the Cameroon community.
Are you talking about the Cameroon and Nigerian community here?
Just African communities, period. Here.
Right,
in
it
Dallas.
helps that they're like, we're doing the festival here, right? Don't you think it helps?
Right, so what I'm saying is, if we're doing the festivals here, I'm using TAFF as an example, because we're talking about TAFF, how can we grow this?
Yes.
Okay, so my thing is, if we can reach out to those Africans, because this is not about Nigerian or Cameroon, it's Africa as a whole. So we need to tap into everyone's network. The social platform for sure, but also all the other, avenues that we can use to reach out to the people. And we cannot wait until this picks up.
Right.
We are the people that will help that pick up.
We have to be the momentum.
We can't wait for that finished product. We have to actually make the product for it to be finished. So we need to come together and work, as a team and help promote this, so that not after today we all go back and wait till next year. We have to start planning for next year as soon as we leave here. What can we do to make this better? What have we missed? And what did we do right? Because there are things that we've done right. Bringing TAFF, to do this. This is the second year, and I'm sure I wasn't here last year, and I was told from the people that came, this year is better, and I know it's going to get better and better as we go along. So, the future, we just have to just work together and put the word out there.
Yeah. If I may add something real quick.
Yes.
I was here last year during the inaugural ceremony of TAFF. I'm here this year. I'll be here next year. And what I've seen, the progression I've seen is amazing, because I've attended a couple of festivals that are in their second year and they don't measure.
And they don't even measure.
Yes, and I think that for this festival to grow, we need more participation or engagement from the filmmakers, because we have followership, we have our own viewers, right? We need to promote our films enough. Let's get our people to come out and watch the films. I don't think it's only the responsibility of the organizers of TAFF. It's our own responsibilities to make sure that our theater is filled up, for people to come and watch our films, our art. We create these films for the audience, it's not for ourselves. So we should be able to promote our films for the future. We, the filmmakers, should be able to advertise the films and let our fans or family members come out and watch our films, come out during the festivals and participate. I think that would be a great way forward for the festival as well.
I agree completely. I posted the place to get the tickets on my Facebook page, and I have somebody from high school that I haven't seen in 30 years coming tonight. So I think it's easy, just put it out there. Hey, I have a film, I'm a filmmaker, I'm at this festival, here's how you get tickets, I hope to see you tonight. Everybody should do that, and all you guys should do it. That's one easy way. I would say, the other thing is I would find out, there's so many people probably in Dallas that have traveled to Africa, or have business things in Africa, or missional projects, nonprofits, things like that. I would reach out to every one of them, because the more you can find people with different states in Africa, and different cultures, different reasons for going, then that will increase your audience as well. And that's what's great about this.
Thank you. Yes, questions?
I work for the library, and I know that the Den Black Film Festival, which focuses on African American film, started incorporating other things like art and live music to sort of reach people in different ways and sort of offer a little bit more content and merge content with other forms. Like I would like to see more animation in film festivals, because I think it's very interesting. I think it's a lower budget than trying to make film foods in it. That's a little bit harder to do. So if we have something like a contest or a scholarship contest in the Den Black Film Festival.
Yeah, that's publicized. That's a good way to reach people.
Get, like you said, a stake in it. It gives people a stake in the festival itself because they've entered the contest or something like that. So there's ways
A
to
writer's
set up.
contest. You had a question? Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for all that you do. It's been a pleasure. This is my first year in the town. Actually, getting involved in film, it's not my area, but seeing how we can tell our story from African perspective and show the narration to the rest of the world is what brought me to film business. So our company, which is Afro West, joint venture with the TAFF, and I'm glad I came to this event. I'm really happy that I'm out of it. So moving forward, I think all of us can do some basic stuff to advance the course. And one of those, we can try to reach out to anybody that have businesses to actually promote the TAFF. And one area that I think is very essential, R&D and the other filmmaker from Cameroon mentioned about that, which is the singing. So you guys have a good work, but for some reason, it's not been shown in mainstream American theater. And I think we need to work on that to, at least make it convenient for everybody that goes to watch movies to be watching anything related to Africa.
Right.
Documentary is good, but for so long, documentary that is coming out of Africa is bringing us down, to be sincere. A lot of people get scared to go to Africa by watching documentary. So your work is changing the narrative, and we have to make sure it continues in that direction. So thank you for it.
Well, thank you.
And I thank Kelechi for putting this platform together.
Thank everybody on the panel, and I'm hoping to see everybody tonight at the red carpet. All right. Okay, wait. By the way, Alan Kaplan is my husband.
Oh.
He made the film with me, and we've been video and shooting because that's what we do. Yes, what is your question, Alan?
Everybody has so much video.
Right, we do.
So much content, real fun. And you have a huge population in universities and in the schools, and this is tomorrow's work.
That's actually a very good point. The universities and
By making your work available, what education can do, you prove right over there, and you prove right over there. So if you make the film available and start a program where in either Black studies or
African
future
American,
studies
yeah.
or anything, that this material is made available, you have a whole new thing.
Yeah, that's.
We actually have that going in a lot of universities. I'm a college professor myself, but it's finding the universities that will accept the content, because a lot of them will hire their own teams, such as your students you took, and those teams will go to Africa and shoot the films, and those are the films we are told we need to showcase in our classrooms.
So you have to show those
we have those things already in place. It's just people like us who want to do that. I have a couple of films they've asked me for, and I said no, because it just, I didn't think it suited what I was trying to do with the film at that time.
Right.
But a lot of the universities shoot their own stuff, so it's each of us calling, the different universities if you want your stuff there. It's just knowing which one to target, because the African American populations, they love these African films. It's just
Totally.
unfortunately they do it themselves.
It's a major,
Yeah.
It's a
and,
major market.
the various points that were made by people sitting at this table is of such value,
Yeah.
all right, for the community involved in this country, and making these films available to those communities increases audience size, all right, and creates tomorrow, whatever.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Am I missing any Cameroon? I have so much Cameroon.